Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is news of prophecy, prophecy and news, coming at you again. This is dealing with a current events that are unfolding out in China. All right, and I'm gonna feel obviously this. If you know the routine with these videos, it's just not just. It's a big deal, but it's news being filled through the Holy Scriptures, through the prophecies that are written inside the Holy Scriptures, the secrets, the dark secrets, being filtered, the news, being filtered through the Scriptures, giving you understanding and discernment, light unto in these dark times for the events that are presently unfolding in the earth. Okay, and this one is an interesting one. So this is from CNBC. All right, this article came out today. Said it was updated 18 minutes ago. So quite recent. There's a few hours time difference. Us being in the GMT. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. This is the title reads, China's coronavirus has killed 6, can spread between people. Here's what we know. All right. So key points. China authorities confirmed that the virus can pass from person to person. As of Tuesday evening, authorities said 6 people have died among 291 confirmed cases in China. The outbreak comes ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday, when millions of Chinese will travel domestically and overseas, heightening the risks of more transmissions. All right. Interestingly enough, timing is everything, and I don't think that timing was just by chance. The outbreak has sparked alarm because it is in the same family as viruses as SARS. All right. So let's get into this. This is the outbreak of a new coronavirus stemming from Wuhan, China, has killed 6 people and afflicted nearly 300 others ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday, during which hundreds of millions of people are expected to travel. All right. Officials confirmed that the new mystery virus can spread between humans, and said 15 medical staff have now been affected, stoking fears about an international pandemic and prompting airport authorities around the world to step up screening for travelers arriving from China. All right. The outbreak could hit the economy, that being a key factor, okay, of this lesson. All right. That's one of the key factors. All right. But that's the secondary one, but the primary one is the fulfillment of prophecy. All right. The outbreak could hit the economy. Experts warned as they pointed to the fallout from the deadly SARS crisis in 2003. All right, which was a big deal. That's as far as my memory dates back to 2003. That's when you had Moab and Ammon really start wearing them face masks, man. Face masks, I believe. All right. And you see that prevalent today with them when they travel, just to show you how much of an effect that had. All right, if I stand correct, what is a coronavirus? The coronavirus, which causes a type of pneumonia, was thought to have originated at a wholesale seafood market in the Chinese city of Wuhan. And you see how it's befitting for this to be the case, be something that stems technically from food poisoning, because anyone knows about Moab and Ammon, man, them guys, when it comes to food, their delicacies, they eat blowfish, like poisonous fish, and they have to eat, use other forms of food to abate the poison kicking in, all these kind of things. So it's befitting that they're doing this. All right, the guy in this Esau guy in this route, because I'm pinning it on Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, doing this, and there's a reason. All right. It was first reported in late December. The World Health Organization said it appears the outbreak began in an animal source. All right. Nah, the World Health Organization on Twitter said reduce the risk of coronavirus infection. Clean hands with soap and water and alcohol-based hand rub. Cover nose and mouth and coughing and sneezing with tissue or flex elbow. Avoid close contact with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms. Thoroughly cook meat and eggs. All right. So that going on the point of what I said about their diet and the things they like to eat. All right, like to eat. I remember there was one clip, man, and this Moabite woman looked fine as all hell, but she squeezed some lemon on some raw fish, and one of them was still alive and jumped on her head, and she was petrified, but she still went and ate those bloody fish, man, raw. Craziness. So that's their, that's their style. All right. On Sunday, China's National Health Commission said the source of the virus remains unknown. Uh, Rightly so, makes sense, right? And that is transmission path hasn't been completely traced. This shit just dropped out of the sky basically, and one day they just all got viruses. All right, 6 people are dead, and 200 odd people are infected with it. Symptoms include fever and difficulty in breathing, and there is no vaccine for this new virus yet. Now I looked up that word vaccine. All right. So vaccine here is from the Latin vacca. Okay. Late 18th century from Latin vaccinus, from vacca, cow, because the early use of cowpox virus against smallpox. See, it says how did vaccine get its name? The word vaccine is created by Edward Jenner. The word comes from the Latin word vacca, meaning cow, a virus that mainly affects cows, quote unquote. Open bracket, close bracket, cowpox was used in the first scientific demonstration that given a person one virus could protect them against a related and more dangerous one. So this is Esau's idea of preventing you contracting a disease and being able to defend your body, immune system, having the ability to defend against it. But let's deal with the word cure. All right, so cure from the Latin cura, curare, which basically cura means care, corara, meaning take care of, and then Old French cure. So Middle English as of now, the Old French cure, both from Latin cura, take care of, cura, care. The original noun senses were care, concern, responsibility. All right, care, concern, what really, when you deal with disease, what is at disease? The word disease is 2 words, dis, okay, and ease, basically meaning not at ease. What's not at ease? The body, all right? The body's not at ease. Why is the body not at ease? Due to imbalances, and that really is inflammation, all right? It's a form of inflammation in your body, all right? So how did you get inflammation? By not taking care or showing concern or responsibility for your body, all right? Because the Lord tells you in the book of Leviticus that there's a dietary law that you have to follow by certain things, and there's certain things you shouldn't eat, and you have to thoroughly cook your food, which is just obvious, understanding. The original noun senses were care, concern, responsibility, in particular, spiritual care, all right? So what's the highest sense? We're dealing with Middle English, all right? Old French. What time is the Middle English from? The Middle Ages, or also known as the Dark Ages, when who was ruling? Israel, man. The so-called Negroes, being Judah, Benjamin, Levi, who ruled over Europe, all right? And what did they uphold? Even though they plagiarized it, they followed the Bible. So their main use of spiritual care was cemented inside of the word, all right? So that's where it's going back to. In late Middle English, the sense of medical care and successful medical treatment arose, and hence remedy. So going back to really what? Remedying it through herbs and whatnot, but mainly, dietary. And then if you have a problem, you have herbs, but then all cannot run well unless you do what? Pray. All right, tells you in the Apocrypha. So let's move on. Where does coronavirus come from? As of Monday evening, the number of confirmed cases in China stood at 291. Some 270 were in Hubei province. Wuhan, a city of 11 million people, is a provincial capital. Just look this up real quick. Okay, it's a capital within the province. Okay, I get it. A total of 258 cases had been confirmed in Wuhan and 6 known deaths. Mayor Zi Wang said on state television that the outbreak was also spreading to other cities, with 14 cases in southern province of Guangdong, 5 in the capital Beijing, 5 in the eastern province of Zhejiang, 2 in Shanghai, and 2 in Tianjin City. Cases have also been reported in Thailand, South Korea, and Japan. Taiwan confirmed its first case Tuesday evening in a 55-year-old Taiwanese woman who had returned from Wuhan the night before. All right. On Tuesday, the WHO, World Health Organization, warned the coronavirus was likely to spread. More cases should be expected in other parts of China and possibly other countries in the coming days, said WHO spokesman Tarek Jarazovic. Asked by Reuters why the WHO expected higher numbers, Jarazovic said new cases would appear as China steps up monitoring. Right. The outbreak comes ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday period this week, when millions of Chinese will travel domestically and overseas, heightening the risk of more transmissions. All right. So this was done by design. That's the point. All right. That's the reason why I'm reading with so much emphasis. It was done by design. Once we read on, we'll get the understanding. All right. Because I'm going to show you on a carnal level, being really the secondary basis of this happening, but there's a spiritual basis, which is the primary goal, which is the Most High's words coming out and not going out void, but not returning unto him, but accomplishing what he says it should do. The WHO, which does not advise travel restrictions at this time, said it will convene an emergency committee on the virus on Wednesday to consider declaring an international health emergency. So this is a period. I forgot there's actually a name for this period of time, but that period is where, depending on what the spirit wills, it can ain't it like turn this up to a whole different level. All right, but even the actual, whether it gets turned up in terms of more people catching the disease, that's neither here nor there, because at the same time this will have effects in the economy, as we mentioned before, and I'm going to show you that, all right, with some articles. How does it compare with SARS? The outbreak had sparked alarm because the disease is in the same family of viruses as severe acute respiratory syndrome. All right, so that's the acronym for SARS. SARS. Right, you can't see me touching it, but read it. SARS, which emerged in China in 2002, was identified in 2003, killed nearly 800 people worldwide. It hit Asian cities such as Hong Kong, Singapore, Taipei, I believe, and Beijing the hardest, and triggered a severe downturn in the region. So there's a big downturn in the region. I remember the SARS outbreak very, very clearly, and the impact it had. These things have an enormous hit on economies. See? They have a huge hit on economies, said Rob Carnell, Dutch Bank ING's chief economist, adding that some countries even slipped into recession. All right. Now let's meditate on this. China, they own what? They basically own America because they own their debt. So America's indebted to China basically, but they're saying that China could go into recession, right? Meaning that it'd be a free for all for taking over China, who by design um, America would like to do, right? So now I want to read this article. This is China Central Bank injects 58 million of loans but keeps rates steady. Okay, China Central Bank extended fresh short and medium. Sorry, let me go back because I'm kind of moving too quickly. China Central Bank injects. So this is 6 days ago, right? This happened. All right, and this I'm sure this disease outbreak was around 3 days ago. Okay, so this is the article, yeah, from Reuters. It reads China Central Bank injects 58 billion of loans but keeps rates steady. Right, so let's get some understanding. China's central bank extended fresh short and mid-term loans on Wednesday, but kept the borrowing costs unchanged, as it seeks to maintain adequate liquidity in a slowing economy and ease a potential crunch ahead of the Lunar New Year. So they're looking to, the reason why they did this is to ease a potential crunch that was going to happen ahead of the Lunar New Year. All right, 6 days ago, this is. The People's Bank of China said on the website the interest. Let me skip over that. That's jargon I'm not familiar with. All right. So this paragraph here. In a statement, the central bank said the injection was meant to offset impact from factors including tax payment and cash demand and ensure the banking system liquidity was reasonably ample before the week-long Lunar New Year holidays kick off next Friday. Rising cash demand from companies and households for the Lunar New Year holiday, a flood of special bond issuance by local governments and corporate quarterly tax payments have all combined to drain funds from the banking system. Some analysts expect the liquidity gap could amount to as much as 2.8 trillion yuan. So basically, by them doing this, they're trying to save themselves from any kind of problems that they could have in regards to, you know, a financial issue. But now let's look at this title. This is from the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Right, it says global stock slide. Lord, this ain't no fake news website. I'm not too familiar with it, but it don't look like nothing too crazy. Anyway, global stock slide on growing concern about China virus. All right, Beijing stock and oil prices fell Tuesday, which is today, as concern about the potential impact of a Chinese disease outbreak increased and a rating agency cut Hong Kong's credit rating from official borrowing due to political tension. Indexes in London and Frankfurt declined, and Shanghai, Tokyo, and Hong Kong closed sharply lower after China announced a fourth death for the coronavirus. The outbreak, centered on the central Chinese city of Wuhan, has sickened more than 200 people. So there you go. This is the work of the bankers at hand, man. This is their long hand working, basically manipulating the market to make their money, to make money out of this an opportunity out of this moment. All right. All right. Let's jump down to here. Could it impact the economy? Carnell warned that if consumers get spooked, the impact of the economy could be significant. Things like this stop people from undertaking economic activity. You don't go out, you don't travel, you don't eat out, he warned. And we see the effects already. You don't even need lots of people to die or even get sick. Yeah, you just need 4 people to die for everyone to mess with it, to basically, mess up the economy. You just need people to be worried about that to have a very, very massive impact, and potentially quite a long lasting impact. He pointed SARS, for example. Tourists stopped traveling to places where there were outbreaks. Commuters stopped taking public transport and worked from home instead, and consumers stayed away from malls and restaurants. At the peak of SARS, Green noted domestic tourist growth in the second quarter of 2003 fell 45% year on year, and revenue from the activity plunged 64%. He said, however, the impact is this time should be less than that of SARS, given that it seems to be less virulent. Right? Given the Wuhan coronavirus is less serious and the government responses have been faster and stronger, the impact on the economy will certainly be less than SARS, he said. At present, our outlook is for the disease to drag on retail sales and tourism, but for consumption growth to remain on a trend of 7%. And I'm sure I'm not the most geopolitically savvy brother, man, but I'm sure there's brothers out there that could really get down and give you some information about that. But for what it's worth, there you can see the info that I've provided. Alright, so anyway, now let me get into the scripture. So this is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. Yeah. So whenever the prophets were sent forth, what did they do? They prophesied against the kingdoms that were set up in place. That was a need for them to be put in there. They were put forth as a mouthpiece for the Most High to basically speak of the impending doom that's going to come, all right, upon that kingdom. All right, and today we're presently in the kingdom of Esau, the revival of the Roman Empire. All right, his rulership presently, which is an evil and wicked empire. Okay, and it says great kingdoms. This is a great kingdom. The world has been subdued under him. Even he shot up, got satellites in space, made great leaps and bounds in technology. All right, so great kingdoms of war. All right, what's this kingdom all about? War. Esau's blessing was the sword, all right? It said, by the sword thou shalt live. So that's how he basically makes his living, by war. And of evil. Evil meaning the eve of ill, meaning a bad time, basically, all right? And that's what we're in. If there's great wars going on for the gain of one man. And of pestilence, all right? So presently we're in a kingdom of what? Pestilence, man, all right? You have the WHO, or CDC, they show you in the movie Contagion that they had all the diseases backed up in their laboratories, basically. And this is one of the key factors. That this kingdom is indeed a great kingdom of war, evil, and more so pestilence, for the sake of this video. Okay, so let me grab this next scripture, which is Matthew 24:4-8, and it reads, and Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. All right, so look, be mindful that you don't let no one deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahweh Shai, or Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Yeah, and there's many that have gone after that. All right, whether he came, there's many that have fallen away to that, man. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We're presently hearing of that, man. Hey, the turn of the year, the turn of the decade, you had Iran basically suffering blows of the sword of Esau, man. All right. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, so it's not even the end. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, which we're seeing presently, and there shall be famines. All right, so there's famines and pestilences, and this is one of the forms of the pestilences. Right, it's in its infancy, but it doesn't mention one; it mentions many. All right. And earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So this is the beginning of said sorrows of the end. All right. So now this is 2nd Esdras 16 and 36, and it reads, Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. All right? This is the word of the Lord, the Holy Scriptures, the New and Old Testament, being the Old and New Covenant, all right? Which we're presently in the grace period of the Old Testament, waiting for the fulfillment of the new prophecy, new covenant, Salakia, when Yahweh Shai makes his return, okay? Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake, all right? Don't believe these other idols, man. But believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, HaRakah, Kadash. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and not slack. And that's why you need to take heed unto him. That's why I'm doing this video, to make you aware that, look, you have to take whole heed unto him. And the plagues, this shows you that the plagues are around and they're having a great effect in the world and actually playing into everything that the Most High has set before him. All right? This is all leading to one place and one place only, the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, all these little things, you know, the Esau doing this to get one over Moab, you know, so he can set up, he can put his world banks, his central banks all over the earth. This is all a play. That's a play. That's a proxy, should I say, of the Most High power. Okay, really leading to the kingdom. All right. So the plagues aren't slack, as when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son, and 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. All right. So this is basically a woman in labor, the head's popping out of her private place and ready to be, and more or less ready to drop, basically. Okay, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the whole world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon the people, upon it on every side. So again, this is the time, man. So with that, man, I pray that you were edified. Shalom.